Hello, language lovers, and welcome to another episode of Phrasal Verb Masters. I'm Jack, and today we're diving into some less well-known but incredibly useful phrasal verbs that will make your everyday conversations sound more natural.
And I'm Emma, joining Jack to explore these hidden gems of the English language. You know, most English learners are familiar with common phrasal verbs like give up or look after, but today we're focusing on those that might have slipped under your radar.
Exactly. These are the phrasal verbs that make native speakers sound natural without even thinking about it. Let's start with one I absolutely love, beef up. Emma, could you explain what this means?
Sure. To beef up something means to strengthen it or make it more substantial. For example, the company decided to beef up security after the data breach. It's like adding more muscle or substance to something.
That's a great explanation. You might hear someone say, I need to beef up my resume before applying for that job, meaning they need to add more impressive skills or experiences.
Exactly. Now, here's one that's really useful in office settings. Bounce off. When you bounce an idea off someone, you're sharing that idea with them to get their feedback or opinion.
I actually used that one yesterday. I said to my colleague, can I bounce some marketing ideas off you? It's much more conversational than saying, would you be willing to provide feedback on my preliminary concepts?
And that's exactly why phrasal verbs are so valuable. They make your English sound more natural. Let's try another one. Clam up. Jack, have you ever clammed up in a conversation?
Oh, definitely. To clam up means to suddenly stop talking or refuse to speak, usually because you're uncomfortable or nervous. Like when someone asks me about politics at a family dinner, I tend to clam up immediately.
That's so relatable. Here's a common scenario. The suspect clammed up as soon as the lawyer entered the room. It creates such a vivid image, like a clam snapping its shell shut.
Now here's one that might sound strange. Mull over. Emma, what does it mean to mull something over?
To mull over something means to think about it carefully for an extended period before making a decision. It suggests deep consideration. For example, I'll need to mull over your proposal before giving you an answer.
That's much more specific than just saying, think about it, right? It implies a thoughtful, prolonged consideration. After mulling it over for a week, I decided to accept the job offer.
Here's another useful one in professional context. Size up. When you size someone up, you're quickly evaluating or assessing them.
Yes, like when you meet a potential business partner for the first time, you might size them up to determine if they seem trustworthy. The interviewer sized me up with a quick glance before beginning the questions.
Another phrasal verb that's really useful is answer for. This isn't about simply responding to a question. It means being held accountable or responsible for something, usually something negative.
Right. You might hear the CEO will have to answer for the company's environmental violations. It carries a sense of accountability or even facing consequences.
Exactly. Now, how about chip in? This is one I use quite often when organizing events with friends.
To chip in means to contribute a small amount, usually money, to a collective effort. Like everyone chipped in $10 for the birthday gift. But it can also refer to contributing ideas or effort, not just money.
And that's different from pitch in, which is more about helping with a task or effort rather than specifically contributing money.
Good distinction. Let's do one more. Make do with. This is particularly useful when you're in situations where you don't have exactly what you want.
Yes. Make do with means to manage with whatever's available, even if it's not ideal. We didn't have butter for the recipe, so we had to make do with margarine instead.
Or the hotel lost my reservation, but I made do with a smaller room for the night. It expresses this sense of adaptation and compromise. These phrasal verbs really do add so much color and precision to everyday conversation.
And I think our listeners will find them incredibly useful to incorporate into their English.
Absolutely. Remember, the best way to learn phrasal verbs is to practice using them in context. Try using beef up, bounce off, clam up, or mull over in your next English conversation and see how much more natural you sound.
And don't worry if they feel awkward at first. That's normal. With practice, they'll become second nature. Do you have any favorite phrasal verbs you'd like us to cover in future episodes? Let us know in the comments.
Thanks for tuning in to Phrasal Verb Masters. I'm Jack, along with Emma, and we'll be back next week with more language insights to help you sound more like a native speaker. Until then, keep practicing those phrasal verbs.
See you next time.